In 2014, I performed my doctoral research at the MEDAT Theatre in Auckland, New Zealand. I am exploring some of the battles and barricades, which are an integral part of the history, theory and practice of drama education. I am using embodied reflections to gather stories for the Imaginary Museum of Educational Drama and Applied Theatre. I am in the light. I hear murmurs, laughter and feel the presence of my audience. We breathe in the same space, but I have become the object of their focus. I am inviting them to hear my voice. My choice to perform my research has challenged me to the core of my being. My play is an hour long, and in the first of 5 episodes, I dramatically describe my research, my question, my method, and hint at what is to come in my journey. I'm nervous and excited, and I am lost in my own world of performance as I walk around the red rope which encircles the stage, acting as a crossing point between the world of reality and the world of make-believe.
Peter Brooks says that all it takes for an act of theatre to occur is for one person to walk across an empty space and for another to observe. 1989, Reading University, last day of teacher training. Notice the happy smile, the warm glow. Oh, you can't tell which one is me. Well, I was blonde then, and slim, and wrinkle-free, and full of passion to be a drama educator. Okay, everyone, just have a little wriggle around. Shake those arms. Go on, shake those legs. Have a bit of a wriggle. Yeah, that's good. And relax. Hey, guys. School play rehearsals begin tomorrow evening. Bring your scripts. Be on time. Perry, Linda, congratulations. You've made it to drama school. A good school needs so much more than just exam results. And you have enhanced our reputation in such a superb way with this production. What do you mean you cancelled the Year 9 theatre trip? Just because of a talent show? But it's been on the calendar all year. Sorry guys, drama studio's flooded again. We're going to have to use a classroom. Once more unto the breach, dear friends, once more. Or close the wall up with our English dead. Oh, well done, Peter. You have demonstrated an excellence by demonstrating techniques effectively in a scripted context. I wonder what it would have been like to have been Henry V at the Battle of Agincourt, leading his men into battle. Oh, no, Peter. That's not what this assessment is all about. It's about how well you use voice, body, movement, and space. Now, do remember to hand in your paperwork. And so, I enter no man's land and cross the battlefield, caught between assessment, examination, curriculum, syllabus, process, product, fighting for resources, exhausted, frustrated, depressed. You can only count what can be counted. You can only measure what can be measured. Grindian education, the quantification of learning, labelling, for labelling's sake. Achieved? Merit. Excellence. Not achieved. education door. May I come in? What for? Well, I'd really like to study the battles and barricades of education, metaphors drawn from the sometimes vociferous discourses of drama education over a century of practice. Come in. A qualitative, quantitative, subjective, objective, epistemology, ontology. What methodology? Interviews and questionnaires? No, that's not for me. All the world's a stage, and men and women merely players, as you like it, William Shakespeare. Attending the International Drama in Education Symposiums at Auckland University, I discover research-based theatre and ethnographic performance. To discover that data can be generated, mediated and disseminated through drama was like a light illuminating a darkened stage. Performative inquiry, the third paradigm. Limerick, Ireland, 2012. The International Drama and Education Research Institute. Kathleen Galby. Melancholy. It is the loss of ideals and the hyper-judgment of the self. Drama teachers wither under the weight. That's me. That's me. Melancholy. Argyll calls it an Elizabethan emotion more aesthetic than depression. Aesthetic! Something pretty! Andy says people think of tripping lightly through fields of golden daffodils. But he says, think of the opposite. Think of anesthetic, something that numbs, that deadens. But we need to understand the aesthetic and what makes us feel alive. And I am alive. Sitting at the Royal Shakespeare Company in Stratford, watching As You Like It. And I hear Jaques speak to Rosalind of his melancholy. Oh, not the scholar's melancholy, but one of his own making, which wraps me in a most humorous sadness. Victor Turner says we come to know our lives through performance. Nicholson says we archive our lives performatively. And so, I create a dyadic encounter. One in which my participants, key drama and education practitioners, and I will imagine the creation of a museum of educational drama and applied theatre using Stanislavski's If. And we will see what lies across the battlefield and over the barricades using maps and metaphor, movement and monologue, symbols and images to embody our stories of passion and melancholia in practice. John says it cannot be static because drama is alive and visceral, evanescent and embodied. And he says, well, what shall we fill it with? Books and artefacts and stuff? But I'd much rather it got back to its roots of being playful. And I say that very carefully, because I believe we can do some very serious stuff. And so, voices, of the museum begin to speak. And typical, we don't have an empty space, we have a space of tables and chairs. But drama needs an empty space in which we can imagine and inquire, in which we can play, in a space of possibilities. Andy plays imaginatively with the props. We have a certain way of doing things here at this school. The school way. Way, Brian. He's wonderful, isn't he? You've painted the drama studio black. People who know a lot more about education than you do didn't paint it black. Burkoff! Stephen Burkoff! In this school, that language, it's outrageous! Outrageous! Hey, Andy, what you doing in this school here, mate? It's great. It's really exciting. Jonathan likes to be on the margins, where he can create a safe space artistically, politically, imaginatively. This is the westward site of the University of Warwick, where I first began my drama training. Welcome to Siberia. I don't make any claims for transformation. I don't make any claims for the long term. I heave a sigh of relief. How can we claim that drama can transform someone forever? And so, I become actor, director, designer, dramaturg, researcher. And as I transcribe my videos, re-speaking every line aloud, and I juxtapose the stories with my own, and like Saldana, I look for the golden moments that resonate. And I stop thinking like a social scientist and think like an artist. John says we should trust our intuition, trust our emotion. 2014. I celebrate the scholar's melancholy. No longer blonde, no longer slim, and with a tube of anti-wrinkle cream. John says, no war is ever won on the battlefield. But Jonathan says we need the tensions, for they are the very essence of this dynamic art form. John says, make a hole in the barricade. Crawl through. And see what lies beyond.
2021 and the COVID-19 pandemic has disrupted our embodied space. I am disembodied in the remote space, able only to communicate in the digital world of an online learning platform. Exhausted, frustrated and sedentary, I desperately coax my students to emerge from their desktop icons. This unforeseen experience, which removes us from the embodied space, challenges me to reconsider the battles and barricades in this new disembodied world. Reunited with some of my original props, I embody a key experience from the pandemic and place new artefacts into the imagined space of the museum. I become re-embodied as researcher and artist to performatively reflect on the praxis of being a drama educator, juxtaposing the battles and barricades of the pre- and intra-pandemic era.
My home is my office. I sit in a chair not on the floor in the traditional drama circle. I turn on my laptop, hoping the internet will hold in this rural area. I connected remotely via Teams. Kia ora everyone! Turn your videos on, let me see your bright, cheerful faces. They can only see my head and my shoulders. Smiling face, I hope. The children won't turn on their videos, but it's a rule. They must. They don't. Little icons appear. Our studios move from figurative to literal empty spaces. We inhabit a remote, a distant and disembodied technological world. I am trapped.
Teaching drama online is like Sisyphus trying to roll his rock uphill. Oh.
The circle, the symbol of embodiment and ensemble in drama education. But now we are disembodied in the disembodied space. These are the new battles and barricades we have to face. Welcome, 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 ladies and gentlemen, once again to the Museum of Educational Drama and Applied Theatre, the unconventional space to be. We invite you to wander and to wonder, and to visit us today to see some new artefacts of teaching during the pandemic. Here we have a laptop for teaching drama. And don't forget the mask for covering up those facial expressions. But for now, you're going to have to join us on www.medat.com until once again we can open our doors and play in a space of possibilities.